Hey, it's Nay. And welcome back to Nay's Little Garden and Home. Y'all, today we have things to do. In preparation for the the burr months. I know you're like, girl, it's July. I'm recording this video July 10th. I'm not sure exactly when it's gonna go out within the next couple of days, I'm sure. I have to start. I know you're sitting here mildly annoyed with me that I'm talking about fall right now. First of all, I love, at this point in my life, from February to December. Because listen, January is miserable. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't really gotten there yet with January, but I got all the other months because February, March, that's the gardening start indoors. Indoor seed starting time is February, March. Okay? April, you start to feel like you've left the villa. No, I'm just kidding. Like you've left the bone chilling cold behind you. May and June, you're starting to feel alive. The sun is starting to be out more than it's not out. It feels wondrous. Now you hit in the summer and we're officially really gardening in like May, June, July, August, September. The burr months are great. School starts back up again. Great. The weather outside is not frightful, but it's starting to cool down. Maybe you're taking out the boots. You're taking out the long jackets, the beautiful material clothing, items of clothing. Listen, I'm telling you right now, the leaves start turning. You're starting to harvest out the last of your the last sections of your produce in September, October. If you really that girl, no, I'm just kidding, you're in a warmer zone or you've prepped yourself to have protection for your produce, maybe November. November, December is the holidays, okay? And my birthday. Anyway, I digress. We're starting a bunch of stuff today. I have filled this whole tray up, but I left 2 of the 6 cells empty. I think at some point I'm gonna fill them up. But there's a few main characters here, but the biggest one, I am outside of carrots, because I will not start carrots indoors. They will be tossed within the next week or 2 outside. My husband has to clean a raised bed. When he cleans that raised bed out for me, that's where the garlic was. The carrots, in fact, will go there. And I'm very excited because I decided I am filling up like half of that with carrots. Now, I kind of want to fill the whole thing. The situation is, come October, when it is time to plant the garlic, that is in fact my garlic bed. So, and I'm trying to grow storage carrots. So what's gonna end up happening is about half of that bed, maybe even just a third, because I want to plant a lot of garlic this coming fall. A third to a half of that bed is gonna be carrots, and then I have 2 raised beds that was solely for onions. The onions, in fact, will be coming out in the next 1 to 2 weeks or so. So that I don't know if I'm gonna put anything in those raised beds until it's time. Yeah, I definitely won't. I'll immediately put the carrots in the smaller raised bed that has the onions, because that will give me, I'm aiming for anywhere from 50 to 100 carrots. And I'm thinking per square foot, I should be able to fit almost, if not definitely, about 100 carrots. And we'll see how germination goes. But these are fresh carrot packets. I'm very excited because I'm trying to store these carrots for fall and winter. Fall and winter in my home, and then some I'm gonna leave in the raised beds because I'm gonna try to get the protection there. Sorry, we're actually gonna start planting these now. This is the Bell Star broccoli. I harvested my first truly successful. I've harvested broccoli last year and whatever before, but it was cute. It was giving, I gardened for funsies. This year I gardened for real. I did pick up those seeds, the starts at my greenhouse, and that's okay. They grew beautiful. I'm gonna attempt to start some myself because when it comes to fall garden, where I live is not the best about having stuff for that. But the reason I chose the Bell Star because it says frost tolerant and it's only 65 to 70 days. So within 2 months and a little change, I will have broccoli. I'm very excited for this. I'm going to start everything. There are only 25 seeds in here. So all of this will be started. I'm gonna put 2 seeds per cell. If both pop up, I definitely will be trying to transplant them into another 6-cell tray for them to grow. I just need, I mean, I would love 100% germination, but if 100% germination does not occur, I think it's gonna still be a pretty high germination to all of them. Let me count this real quick. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna, that's wonderful. I have 40. Okay, let's go ahead and do what I said, which is 2. This is saying to plant them, oof, let me not lose any seeds. How deep? Ooh. Hold on. Seed spacing, seed depth, 1/8 of an inch. So this is basically, I'm gonna put them on the top. I'm gonna put them right over here. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I have 1 extra seed. Let me put this back. I want a minimum of 12 broccoli, which is why I did all of that just now, because that's really and truly my goal. But, however, I will take up to 20 because I believe I could really handle about 20. Now, what's going to happen is 6 broccoli, I'm going to put with 12 broccoli, 6 will go in my polytunnel. And 6 will go outside of my polytunnel. So the reason I'm doing that is because the polytunnel is the protection. And I'm not gonna put all of them in the polytunnel because I don't know if they're going to roast. Because it says frost tolerant, and it does say handles heat stress better than most. But I'm not sure if the polytunnel is still going to be too hot. Like when I plant that out in August, I mean, to be fair, July is not typically the hottest month, but you just don't know the way things are going. So that's that. Now, okay, I'm just going back and just covering that very lightly. or that's the plan, I should say. That's the plan. Of course, things change sometimes, but I think that's the best course of action to try to have the most successful harvest again, but from seed this time. I'm gonna put the rest back in here. I'm very excited and happy that I got there was extra seeds in here for me. I'm going to label this and then I'll come back and we will be putting some cabbage. Yeah. So I'm back. I went ahead and labeled everything else that I'm gonna need to be labeled. The next up, I'm gonna try to grow 2 cabbages. Everything else is getting 1 6L tray. The situation too with all of this is you wanna plant a lot of these out in August to the beginning of September. And I'm like, am I really gonna rip out all of the space? I'm like, the stuff for the space I'm gonna need for this, we're gonna see, but I'm gonna put it regardless. So not the cabbages first. I'm gonna put like 2 or 3 seeds just to make sure the germination does occur. Are these older seeds? 2025, so they're actually not that old. What's great about things like cabbage, you get a ton of seeds. There was 300 in here, and there probably was a little more than that. And my gardener's typically pretty good about that. And then I'm not gonna even really do much in terms of this. I'm just gonna upturn some of the soil to try to cover the seeds as much as possible. Okay. And then next up, I'm growing the Golden Acre cabbage. Now, before we go to the Golden Acre cabbage though, let's talk about the Napa cabbage. I do want to attempt to grow but to make my own kimchi. I adore kimchi. Kimchi is absolutely delicious to me. So I was looking at how to make it. I'm gonna try. Now, I'm not gonna make kimchi that is gonna probably be the best kimchi you've ever tasted, because I would be scared I did something wrong and then the fermentation water process that needs to happen doesn't occur properly. So I'm not gonna be letting that sit for like 3 months before we eat it, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna eat it fresh. I'm gonna make it, we're gonna eat it, because I just like the flavoring also of kimchi. Now, there's so many different variations to kimchi. You got red kimchi and white kimchi, the different things you could put in the kimchi. Everybody's family seems to have a slightly different iteration of it. So baseline, it looks like a lot of the time there's like radish and cabbage. I think some people put carrots. Like, there's just so many different iterations of it. So I'm growing a bunch of this stuff. So yes, at some point I am going to, today or tomorrow, maybe this coming week, I'm gonna go ahead and purchase some daikon radish, because I don't think I have any, so that I can start those. This is 60 to 80 days before a maturity, which is a long time, but these are cold tolerant. And what I'm gonna end up probably doing is putting the Napa cabbage underneath my polytunnel. This one, excuse me, the Golden Acre is 60 to 65. This will not be taking up any space in my polytunnel. I'm gonna keep this outside because this is much faster. Why are you leaking seeds? Oh my goodness, you're just getting so excited to get planted, aren't you? Oh, not too much. Like I said, what's great about cabbage, you don't really have to stress nearly as much with the seeds, because they're just so cheap for the amount that you get compared to like certain tomato varieties, man. It almost feels like you're paying $1 a seed. No, maybe not. I'm being mildly dramatic with that, but it's a lot of money. I'm just flipping over the soil again. I'm just kind of pushing down lightly. But in 60 to 65 days, that's pretty good to me in terms of the speed when you're taking in gardening as the actual job hobby. So, cold tolerant, and they should net me some good stuff. Now the difference is I'm gonna try to make some slaw. I want to master slaw that my family, you can really train yourself to like to tolerate, like, and love many things. Some things you might never get to actually enjoying, but there's a lot of things that you will. And with that in mind, I want to get into more fermented stuff. There are definitely a few I just enjoy, period. Like I said, like kimchi. But there are some like pickles and coleslaw I'm much more picky about. So I want to get less picky about them. So I'm going to make my own and see not the pickles yet, but I want to do the slaw. So the golden acre cabbage, it looks like it would be more slaw. The naka cabbage would be more I would do for kimchi. Next, up, I'm going to do Little Hero spinach. This might not even make it into my there might only one or two make it into my actual garden. Most of these might actually just end up in the green stalk, which is fabulous. But I've had these for a hot minute and I've got to get them planted. Oof, that was a lot in one. Okay. I'm pushing a little divot into like a little hole and then burying them all in that one hole. I got the Costa Maine potting soil, and so there's a couple little chunk pieces in there. It's not the end of the world, only because I know that there's a lot of nutrients in here. And I am going to straight put this outside. I will not be starting this indoor. Like, it's indoor starting, but not really. Like, I'm as you can see, I'm literally starting it indoors, and I'm gonna put this outside. I think for them to sprout, I don't need to have them. Now I'm questioning myself. I just feel like regular sun is gonna do better for it, and I could always move it into the shade. We're gonna see how they do. I'm gonna stalk these broccoli. I'm really not playing about the broccoli at all, but that's what I think I would like to do as opposed to turning on lights in my home. Next is the milk bok choy. This is just super dense, like the nutrient dense food, like a superfood. So I'm gonna just grow this. The seeds are also small. I'm just gonna nestle a couple and then cover them up and keep them moving. Okay. Boom. Next is the blue Scotch curled kale. Y'all, I haven't really been doing a good job about actually eating the kale. It's been going to the chickadees. This blue Scotch curled kale grew overwinters down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So, but I have been doing really good. I've already made a couple dishes with some peppers I've harvested a little early so that my plants can get bigger. With just a couple onions I had to pick early because the next snapped because of the storm, and with some garlic that I've grown. Isn't that literally amazing? I think it's amazing. I'm very happy. Okay. Boom. The last one is the dwarf Siberian kale. Boom. It just looks like a different type of kale, but it's a Russian kale, so it's hardy. I want to do soups and stews and just be able to toss greens in them. We're gonna see how these different kales and stuff do in like cooked into the soups and stews, and then also like added right before this, like right as the stew is finished. See which one I prefer. I love just adding greens like the bok choy and spinach and kale to some soups and stews, and just to eat it like that. Oh my gosh, so good. So good, so delicious, and such an easy way to add some more nutrients to something. So that's that. That was it. I have so many other things I could potentially start. We could always come back. I'm not starting any lettuce right now. I have so many seeds. I had this Chinese cabbage I really could have started. I have so many cabbages and spinaches and kales and things here, but I don't want to start too many. I do want to give myself a chance to actually succeed in consuming these things, as well as succeed in planting them out. The other thing I'm probably going to plant out, not today, but soon, is going to be this tatsoi mustard. It's 45 to 55 days to harvest, so I feel like I have another extra week that I could chill out and really think on that. I want to be able to make some salads, of course, because once September hits, it's not like, oh, it's immediately freezing. It's still as warm days, so salads are good for that, with like some chicken, or even like side salads with soups and stews. And like I said, putting some greens in the actual soups and stews works very well. So that is that. Let me know if you're starting any fall stuff. I did water the bottom of this tray, and it looks like it's slurping most of it up, but I'm probably gonna miss the top of this, and this is probably gonna go outside. I really feel like the sun is the best. We'll see. Let's talk about your fall garden. Do you even do a fall garden? I've heard a few people mention how fall gardening is actually the best way to start gardening because there's a lot less pests. The only reason I haven't yet been, I wouldn't say that yet, is because I do think that there's a lot less area for for a potential to, what am I trying to say? Like it's a lot harder, I feel like, to really get the timing done for fall because it's just not advertised. You can't really get a ton of like starts like you could for spring, and at the end of the day, you really just don't know when the snow could not hit. Like, when is the frost actually coming? So you might see October 15th, and so you plan according to that, and then it hits like September 20th, and now we're irritated. As well as because you're losing sunlight hours, it could just feel like, you know, and people say add 5 days, add 10 days, add 14 days, add you know, time to whatever the packet says because you're losing sunlight. So it just feels like now you got to start doing mathematics, extra math. It's just a lot, but it could also be very easy. And we're going to see how this goes. Thank you so much for watching this whole video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.